So over the years, I think we've had maybe about seven to 10 customers. I'm going to say definitely no less than 7 that have utilized Cheers to actually catch individuals in the act, and who've actually, anywhere from $30,000 to $75,000 of losses have been recorded. And how did they come to that? So with Cheers, you have what's called footsteps. So we like to footprints and footsteps throughout each individual's actions. A lot of times what you'll have that guy who's working the evening. He knows his buddies. They come in, they'll get a couple shooters, they'll put up a 6-pack, and they could be those quick same products of those shooters, not necessarily the 6-pack, but the ones that are lesser value that they can scan in the register and also remove at the same time, so they could remove it from the cart quickly. That's one instance in which the person can say, okay, hey, I've charged them, the guy puts the money down, and there's just this way of doing it, right? They know how to do that. One of the things that Cheers will do is say that individual knows that they've taken 10 items, right, at the end of the night. He's like, oh, well, I know my manager's password, signs in, logs in under them, and takes 5 off of the inventory. What we've done in the past is we've educated the store owner, hey, do keep in mind that if you do an inventory count and you realize that this item is always off, it's not because of the system. It's really because there's something else outside that's causing it to fluctuate in such high volumes. So one store owner was like, okay, well, how can we do that? So took them to this report, and it goes through their entire, you can run a report for either the first week or the whole year. You scan that item and it'll tell you every time it's been touched and every time it's been scanned. And what they identified was that every individual, you could sort it by an individual employee, for example. Hey, well, what about this person? He was working. And so we noticed that this item had been consistently removed, but also those values had been edited without their permission, and they had signed into someone else's profile during that time. So in the evening, the guy signs in, reduces them, and Cheers will say, this is what the inventory was, and this is what it is today. This is what it was, this is what you changed it. And it gives you the value, which then you can associate. If you're curious to know, then you can take that, go to your cameras, it's time-stamped by the minute and by the date, so that you can just quickly pull up your cameras and say, oh, okay, is this happening? Yes, it is. And that's one of the ways we've been able to help store owners, reduce theft. There's been that employee footprint and employee activity report really does put eyes on that. And it was really just created for that reason. Based on store owners. They're like, well, can it tell me this? Can it show me that? No, it couldn't. So we modified it. You can actually determine how many times a drawer's been opened. That's one of those features that a lot of store owners want. How many times was the drawer opened and why was it open? Unless there's a sale, it'll say, hey, this is how many times the drawer was open outside of the sale. It doesn't necessarily record, what's in your drawer necessarily, except for at the end of the night, hey, this is how much you should have. But it's really, it really does the checks and balances to making sure, okay, if you're not opening the drawer, if you're opening the drawer too many times, then you're probably messing with the cash on times that you shouldn't be messing with it. And if you're taking in or out money, it allows for you to put money in and take money out, and it accounts for that. Also to annotate it, so you would put a note, hey, this is what for pizza, for money taken out for repair on the cooler, whatever the case is. So it definitely provides the user, hey, let's make sure you record this. Where does this go? What was this for? But it's really ultimately up to the user to see, making sure that they're putting the money in and taking the right money out.